Welcome to today's episode. It's episode 5. Can you believe that, Jam?
Yeah, man. Time flies.
That's right. That's right. Episode 5. Today's topic, we are talking about AI. AI in the music industry. So it's a very heavily debated topic, and there's many places that AI is playing in all of these parts of our lives now. So I want to open the conversation by saying if you have an opinion, please type it in the chat below because we would love to know what you think as we talk about these. But to kick us off, very simply, AI for creative people, is it cheating? A simple question there. And we'll go into the details of how we use AI.
Yep, yep. So, you just started it off with, is it cheating?
Yes, just a simple question. Because some people right away, or they're like, FAI, just hands down, hard stop, right?
Right. Without even really knowing what it can actually do for you. I look at it basically, it's real kind of simple for me to understand this. I look at it as a creator side, like, creator, musician, producer side. And then on the other side, I look at the everyday average person that doesn't know nothing about music. You know what I mean? So there's two different. Let's just kind of start there because it kind of will make sense as we speak upon this. These people over here on this side that know nothing about music, never produced a song, never sang nothing, whatever, can go on one of these platforms and basically tell it what it wants, right? In the simplest way, because remember, they don't know how to break it down, right? And
Right?
to the nitty gritty and dissect what you want it to do. So they're the people that are like, will say something like, hey, I want you to make me a beat, you know, that like sounds like Dr. Dre. And I want to put a rapper. I want you to put a rapper on it. And I wanted the rapper to sound like Jay-Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simple. And then they click the button and it's going to spit out something, right?
Right?
It could sound like any kind of direction, sounding like Dre, sounding like Jay-Z on it, right?
Right?
Okay. Then you got these people over here, the
Yeah.
actual really producers, creators, and all that. They're going to fine tune that and break it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably start with a foundation of a beat. Uh, they'll have a artist write lyrics, just like they would in a recording studio, right?
Uh-huh.
Doing it that way, right?
Uh-huh.
And then that producer might say, "Hey AI, I like to hear some different arrangements on my strings," right?
Mm-hmm.
Go in and rearrange, give them some ideas. That's, to me, is using AI as a tool, opposed to saying, "Hey, I want you to make me a hot beat like this and make it sound like that and make this singer sound like this."
Mm-hmm.
That's not really creativity. You're just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like if you were producing a song and you will run vocals through some outboard gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
A la auto tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
Auto tune is kind of like AI, but it's
Mm-hmm.
a hardware piece of AI. All
Mm-hmm.
these pieces of equipment that alter sound,
Mm-hmm.
that could be AI doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want this kick to sound thinner,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden the kick becomes thinner. Or I could say, hey, AI, make this kick thinner.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference, kind of like where I start with seeing the difference between the two. And another thing is like when you get all these people uploading music to all these platforms. I don't know if you want to go
Hmm.
into this right now real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna touch that. We're gonna
Okay,
touch that in a second.
I'll wait.
So it sounds like.
That's
Go
another
ahead.
part of how I differentiate, tell the two.
Hmm. So it sounds like for the answer to is it cheating, you say a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. It's like a 50-50. Because if someone disrespectfully uses AI, they could totally, cheat code it, and there's not really a talent involved there, right? And I think that it sounds like I think that we're aligned that, like, you know, if you have human creativity involved, that it becomes a tool. If you just cheat code it up, then it's not. You're just making it in its simplest form. It won't be as good as it could have been if you really put time into it and thought process and really worked with it in collaboration.
Yeah, and another thing too, and a lot of people won't realize this, might not realize this at first. The simpler that you prompt, meaning you're that person that you're saying, make me Dr. Dre beat and this, right? The people that do simple prompting, we'll just call that simple prompting. When you start to listen to AI music, I've been listening very heavily for the past, I don't know, a couple years since this has been out, right?
Right.
One thing I've noticed is it got to a point to where all this music started sounding the same. Meaning now I can tell if a song is AI or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to me, the biggest thing, like, why is that? Well, because when you simple prompt, it's generalizing, you know what I mean? It's taking from the general, it's pulling from here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's simple prompting is pulling from here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're not
Mm-hmm.
down. It's just staying in this field right here. So if you listen to just music and dude, it all sounds the same. The vocal arrangements sound the same in these
Yeah.
AI songs. You know what I mean? The
Right.
basses sound the same. The orchestration, the strings, they all pull from this circle right here. So I can tell, dude, it's like, oh my God, that sounds just like that other song. It sounds like that. Sounds like they use the same vocal and just tweak the vocal just a little bit because the vocalists almost all sound the same. So that's what separates a simple prompter from somebody that goes in and actually explains the vocality of the artist what they're trying to break down. Describe a voice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you start breaking that down, that's when you start going outside the circle. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
If you don't, you're gonna stay right here, and your stuff is gonna sound like everybody else's.
All right. So gonna go into another part of AI, which is something that I think we're all happy about, is stems, right? Stems came along and did it as well. What is your favorite AI stem tool that you like to use right now? Like which DJ software do you think is doing it best? And have you used any of the other stem softwares that are out there?
No, I haven't really used that many. I've been, I started off, good question too, because I started with the algorithm beta version, the company algorithm that does the software with DJ.
DJ Pro, DJ AY.
Yeah, and so before it was in STEM, before people had STEMs in the program, before Serato, um, in my radio shows and my mix projects that I've talked about before, I always break down songs to the acapellas and the transitions. I used to make acapellas when I couldn't find certain acapellas just by phasing out the music in Pro Tools. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That became kind of like my trademark years ago. So when Algorithm came out with this stem separation, um, shout out to Charles Dixon. He's a big DJ back east, house DJ, but he's been in the game for a minute and he's helped different companies with promotions and marketing, right? So he was on the team with Algorithm, and they basically came out with this stem separation, and they're like, we need to get this to DJs to get the word out that about the stems and what it's about. So Charles knew about my mixes, and he knew I always broke down to the acapellas, right? So he
Yeah,
reached out to me, and he's like, "Yo, Jam, I got something for you, and I know you're gonna like this one." You know what I mean? And
yeah,
when he told me what it was, I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like, this is gonna save me so much time now. You know what I mean? When I
yeah,
put all these songs in Pro Tools, I'm like, oh man, this is the best thing since Serato came out. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
so he was like, yeah, we'd like for you to, I want to have you demo it. You know what I mean? Since this is what you do. So basically, I ended up doing a remix of one of Snoop's songs, or two of them, or whatever, and I did a couple videos and released it. But yeah, stems. So I've been, right when that happened, when they got it to me, I reached out to Serato and I reached out to Reloop, the other company I'm sponsored by, and I said, hey, you guys need to talk to Algorithm to get this in Serato and in the Reloop products right immediately. You know what I mean? And yeah, the rest is history. All these programs got it now, but yeah, man, the video's up on my website djjam.com. I think it's on the front page. You can check that out. But yeah, stems.
yeah. So you were one of the first people to help break that out too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, the so stems is amazing. Again, machine learning and AI. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's been around forever. Because if you've been playing like the Call of Duty games and stuff, I mean, everything that you can train a machine on to learn, and then it gets better, and from your input, it is
Yeah.
AI. So right now, it feels like with the mass marketing of AI, it feels like it's new, but it's been around forever, and it's just getting better and better. And now it's to the point where I mean, it's just it's incredible what's going on. But
Getting better and better. Yeah.
yes, so let's talk about AI voice cloning. How do you feel about that? Because now people are making uh, songs that are by an artist, but they're not by an artist, and that can really lead to some market confusion, right? Like there's been some releases that aren't the real artists. I think someone did it with Drake and stuff, but like yeah. So what do you think about that
Well,
AI vocal cloning? Have you cloned anything, or what do you think of that?
yeah, I've cloned before, and that's a big thing about what's going on right now is identification,
Hmm.
and that's why they're going to start putting these labels on songs so
Hmm.
it's transparent, and I
Hmm.
think it's good for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know if I was a fan of a particular artist and I went and purchased a song or whatever, downloaded a song or album, and found out later that that wasn't really the artist and it didn't have anything to do with the artist, I kind of be pissed off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I knew it wasn't the real artist, if it was AI labeled and I like,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, okay, well, at least I know and I'm getting it, knowing what I'm getting, then,
Hmm.
I'm cool with that.
Nice.
And
Now.
oh, not to cut you off, but another thing of that is you see record labels are partnering up with these companies now, and now they're about to start allowing the public to remix songs using their voices and things like that, as long as the artist says okay. Basically, they're saying that that's a way for the artist to make extra money, by licensing out their voice. And I think that's a good way to do it instead of letting people, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
rip it off like that. So, you know, I'm not, all the cloning stuff that I've done is not. I'm not putting my stuff up for sale or whatever. Mine is just promo and for visual
Hmm.
content. You know what I mean? But if
Yeah.
I was something for real and trying to put out a project, I would want everybody to get paid as they should. You know?
Yeah. Let's think of a way that like let's talk about the royalties and stuff. I mean, isn't that kind of throwing a wrench in like if it does it because it's already if you are I think everybody will admit that royalties and just the way that the music industry works is always been a little bit weird. No, before AI, way before AI was a thing to worry about. So now, what do you think about AI and royalties? Are they going to just have to just rethink the way that the music industry works?
Yeah, first of all, they need to get this royalty stuff straight. Like, to me, they need to figure that out before all this AI, and AI is here. So they need to figure this out quick, because paying the streaming numbers or what they're paying artists, that's not going to work. That's not going to fly. Artists are already getting smart, and they aren't signing record contracts anymore. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
They're building their own communities now. So in a second, the labels are going to have to restructure. You know what I mean? These
right.
platforms are going to have to restructure. I know they're trying to squeeze out as much money as they can before it all goes under. But trust me, another platform is going to come out that's going to pay the artists what they should, and the word is going to get out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Support the other platform because it pays artists, and it's just a matter of time. It'll trickle until, and you know what I mean? And their
Yeah,
time will be numbered at that point. So,
yeah.
so it's all about creating your own community right now, because the more your own community that you build, by the time these labels regroup and
Hmm.
reorganize and streaming platforms do all that, and now they got money and now they're about to pay artists, guess who they're going to go after first? Those artists with they have their own communities already in place that already got numbers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Big advice there for the creators out there, especially if you are in the music biz. Make sure you are getting your community. People are on IG and they might follow you on IG. IG goes down, your account gets hacked, or there's a problem, you lose them. You lose
Yep.
them all. So,
Sure.
yeah. So, the good advice there. Talking and keeping it on AI, let's go ahead and talk about. Um, let's talk about let's talk about music discovery. Doc said in there earlier, he kind of likened some of the manual process of AI to digging in the crates for records, right? Well, AI is actually digging in the crates for records these days. Spotify released an AI prompting feature where you can now just kind of describe what you want to hear and it will play that for you, right? So, what are your thoughts on that? And then, how do you think we feel as DJs that now, I mean, what if a bar owner goes, "Oh, I'm gonna tell it to play nightclub music all night long," like what are your thoughts on that?
I'm,
Or should we
I,
fear it?
I don't fear that, because I don't fear a jukebox. That's all that is. It's a jukebox. There's no soul in that, and that's what the big thing that AI is missing. Is missing soul. One thing that is very hard, and I will give it up to the producers who figured it out, is how do you add soul to your prompt? The the music that's gonna win are gonna be the ones that can add soul. That means your prompting is at a next level.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of these songs sound alike, because there's no soul.
Mm-hmm.
I has no soul.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
think about that. You getting That's why these songs sound kind of robotic when
Mm-hmm.
simple prompt. These
Yeah.
vocal arrangements sound robotic. It's too perfect,
Uh-huh.
because a real person is not going to be that perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Have flaws, and that's what's
Mm-hmm.
great about the human race.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's beauties in those flaws. It's okay to hit not a perfect note sometimes, because it
Yeah.
you are. Think about some artists that at first glance you were like, wait, they're not always on tune. And there's artists out there that they're just a little bit to the right or to the left of the tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might be to the right or to the left on beat, on rhythm. They might
Mm-hmm.
be off a little bit. Look at artist Blueface, the rapper. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just
Yeah.
an example, but there's other artists out there too. You know what I mean? It's okay not to be perfect. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
something that you can use in life.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so I love that we shouldn't be fearful of the AI when it comes to replacing a DJ. I know a lot of people, are starting to think that you get a little bit of bead as a sweat going down their face because, they're you got some DJ booths that are invisible now. They don't have the DJ in the forefront. You're playing and you can't even see the crowd in some
Yeah.
venues. Those are the venues that I worry about most. If I had to worry about it, those are the ones that I think would be closest to making that call of giving the DJ the night off to put on Spotify.
Yeah.
But
I like to see that, especially if it's a big club. Like, I can see a bar maybe getting away with that,
mhm,
but a big club where there's a lot of reading the room.
mhm,
You know what I mean? A
yeah.
lot of spontaneous things going on. I don't see AI standing up to that because it takes soul to do that. Once again.
Absolutely. Now, I encountered some AI earlier today that was really strange. It was I it had to be AI. It was in a parking garage. I went to LA and to pay for parking, I scanned a QR code, but I didn't have to do anything until after I parked. I go in, nobody attendant wise was at the gate. It lifted. I go down and whatnot, and I park. Any particular level. It was a deep garage. I totally didn't I didn't like the garage too much. But the point is I get there and I scan the thing and I go to pay for it, I tell it what my plate is, and then the thing's telling me the time that I entered the garage. And I was like, "Oh shit." Like you guys are like it was watching me. So
Right.
the video is talking to the camera system knows with the regular system that's charging me how long I've been there, and it's going to charge me when I leave. I didn't have to scan anything on the exit or nothing. I just
Right.
left and it was done. Like I didn't do shit but just tell them this is who I am. I'm this car. So I put an identity to the plate. But that thing was tracking the plate, and so I was thinking about it because it took me a while to figure it out and get all the way upstairs. I had been there for 13 minutes. There was a timer. And so I was like, oh, so that's how probably the guys policing the lot and going up to the cars, that didn't sign
Mhm.
up or whatever. But that being said, I mean, this is, we got the flock cameras and all that stuff. So reading the room, you know, could potentially, like how it's weird. Like what is humanity? Because you could start to say, okay, this many people in this or this metric or this shade of skin tone, is the playlist changing because of those things? It's really weird. My mind trips out
Yeah.
about where we could
That could,
potentially,
that could get deep.
it
You
could
know?
go. Yeah. So that made me think of that today.
Own the person is and how if they have
They're
cameras,
dressed.
how crowded the dance floor is, right? So if it's crowded, it's going to play a certain type of music. If it starts to people start leaving, it'll probably go for you know what I mean. It'll probably
Hmm. Or but vice versa, if there's two packed all night and they want people to buy drinks at the bar.
ride up. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, automations.
um,
It's
yeah,
nuts.
yeah. If it starts replacing DJs, that's not a good thing.
No, I don't think so. But you know what I think would be the thing that's the hero there is public perception. I think that more people would say, "Oh, wait, what? They got rid of all their DJs?" And I think that most people would boycott that club.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I there might be a few like techie people that go, "Hey, I'm going to that club that replaced all the DJs with AI," but I
Yeah,
think most people would be against it. I know I'd help boycott it. If that happened. Um, all right, keeping the AI topics going, and if you guys have anything that you want to chime in on, please let us know. Uh, thank you, Doc. He said missing the soul in music about like how you were saying that's the part that AI for now can't really replicate. Um, so let's talk about the first time you used AI. When's the first time that you really gave it a try and said, you know what, I'm going to embrace this? Because I love that you're always on top of tech. and it doesn't scare you off. So you've embraced AI, but when's the first time you really dug in?
Um, it's probably been, I started messing with it maybe 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And as of last year, kind of getting towards the end of the year, um, I started sitting down because I was traveling a lot, so I couldn't really focus on that.
Hmm.
But I saw it around me, and I would go and mess around a little bit, not really knowing what I was doing, just having fun. And
Hmm.
I uh, got settled again towards the end of the year. That's when I have a few people around me that are very well versed in AI. So I had a good support system. Shout out Dope Visuals SD. Shout out Jimmy Black Betopia. Um, um, my family, J Biz, Marlon B, aka. But yeah, they're in it big time. So Tom, my boy Tom, DJ Tom the Rock, um, they use it big time, and they're big creatives. They're not just doing simple prompting whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Bringing stuff to life, making short stories and just music videos, just all kind of stuff. Working with different people. So
Hmm.
once and they were doing stuff for me, and then I started saying, well, can you teach me start doing it myself? And they started teaching me, and then that's how I started. Uh, you know, doing things as far as using it in my production as well.
Excellent, excellent. Now, let's go ahead and talk about AI in your projects, and go ahead and elaborate a bit because now you're really breaking some amazing new ground with the latest mix projects that you've done, integrating AI into the storytelling aspect of it. So, talk about those scenes and how you like to put together the stories and why. How did you come up with that idea to do that?
Well, it started by me wanting to use AI to create videos for the songs that I use in my mix that didn't actually have videos. you know. So I wanted to pull videos for all the other songs, and I'm like, man, it would be really cool, instead of just putting a visual there, if I could make something that actually goes with the video, right?
Hmm.
So I thought either I would just make it like whatever the subject matter is in the song, I'll just kind of make something to go with that subject matter. So that's kind of what I did first, and that turned into me actually recreating the actual artist in the song
Hmm.
and doing the video pertaining to what the song is about. I learned how to do that, and I started incorporating that into my projects at first. So it was just like you're watching video mixes, and all of a sudden there's a special one that was done with AI. That was done, and people will be like, "Oh, I don't remember the song having a video to it." It's like, yeah. So that's how it kind of started, and then it developed into using it to do more elements, more visual content in the mix. Um, Bringing my drops, the artist drops, when they say, "Yo, this is Snoop Dogg. You're in the mix with DJ Jam, right?" Well,
Hmm.
I'll put Snoop Dogg and animate a picture or
Hmm.
make an AI version of Snoop and have him actually say that.
Hmm.
So that's the things that I started doing first, and adding those to my visual mixes, bringing them to life. And then that turned into like one project to the next. I started taking it up levels till it finally got to the point to where my last project I released was called Sin City Dubstep Into My Trap. So it was the EDM dubstep trap version. And this is the first project where I actually put a short story, which is actually like a soap opera, a musical soap opera, into the mix. I developed a character, created a character, right? And created songs, you know, uh, with the character, did songs with it, and had six scenes, actual scenes in my like a 2 hour mix, six scenes that told a story, along with 4 to 5 songs of that created artist, you know what I mean, in the project. and now uh, my Sin City projects are stories that continue, and we develop characters every project. But the thing about it is, the first couple of characters that I created, with the one that I'm about to release this week as well, are created artists that we created. But I can also use actual real artists as well, and
Hmm.
create a character and have that artist write and be part of that character. And that's what I'm gonna about to start doing as well. So
Nice, nice. That's awesome. And they're very fun what to watch. If you haven't seen them, you can see them on your Patreon.
yeah, patreon.com/ DJ Jam DPG.
Yep. Or you can
All
click.
live versions, the live versions.
Yes, and if you're ever confused about where to find everything, your link in the bio is going to be able to show you everything. So click that as well. Um,
Sign up too. Click that Giganomics link, find that Patreon sign up button, enter your email, and download the app, and you're connected to all my projects.
Absolutely. Staying on AI today. AI is the topic. Remember, if you're in the chat and you want to chime in, please let us know because we would love to hear from you as well. Um,
Hey, Biz International, what up? DJ Pobeta, official. What's going on? Thanks for joining.
Absolutely. So, have you used AI in your song discovery yet? Like, are you doing anything? Have you tried to find any songs or track charts or anything like that with AI yet?
Oh, just strictly looking for AI?
Looking for music. Like, is AI digging? Like, is AI briefing you on new tracks or anything like that? Yeah.
No. I discovered just from being on certain platforms or YouTube, things like that. So I'm,
Hmm.
especially I believe on YouTube, popping up a lot. So I'm seeing different things, and I'll get emails from, all over too, sending me real and AI artists. So I hear a lot.
Nice, nice. Do you think that AI should be do you think you will start using it for discovery?
I mean, I could if I start hearing some artists that I like,
Yeah.
and I can see it's like I'm not going to be like, oh no, I don't like that because I know that they used AI or anything. It's
Yeah.
going to boil down to how it sounds.
Hmm. Hmm.
If it sounds like it was simply prompted, I probably won't like it.
Right.
If somebody took their time to actually produce and actually prompt, then I'm for it. I'm for people using it as a tool, and I'm not hating on the people who simple prompt. Once again, I just think that it should be distinguishable. I
Hmm.
think there should be labels on the music. If
Hmm.
not, I mean, as well as maybe even having platforms just for AI music. You know what I mean?
Ah,
So you can go there and get all the AI, fall in love, search AI, and you'll know it's all AI. And then
yeah.
the real music, you know what I mean, that without AI or AI assisted will be okay on this side. But all
Yeah.
AI songs could be this side, and they can have their own thing because some people like that, and some
Yeah.
people don't care about who produced it, how long they took to produce it. All they care about is if they like the song or not. And I think that's basically saying the general public. You know what I mean? Like, you hear a song on the radio, you know what I mean? You're driving and the song comes on the radio and you start bobbing your head. You're like, yeah. Is the first thing that you think about is, dang, who produced this song and what did they use to produce it? And is this AI or is like who does?
Yeah.
You don't
No
care.
one.
It's all about what comes out. So if you like that type of stuff, there should be a place for it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
hopefully the artists that they used and clone and they'll be getting money too and everything's cool.
Nice, nice. Um, let's see here. So then,
DJ Dents, good. LA.
nice. Uh, yeah, go ahead and shout out the chat. Make sure that everybody knows that if you want to talk along with us, please let us know. Type below, and if you have a question, let us know. If you just want to say your opinion on AI, let us know too. We want to hear from everybody about what they think about AI as well. Today's topic is AI.
Definitely. Yeah.
And so, what advice would you give to someone who's wanting to? Maybe they were against it, and they've heard the conversation or seen some of the cool things that you've done with AI. What's some of the advice that you give to people who are going to now put their finger on the trigger and do some AI?
Like I said, I'll guide them to this side or I'll guide them to this side, depending
Hmm.
on who the person is. If it's a person that's not into like, oh, I want to learn how to produce and use AI, I've never produced
Hmm.
music before, but I want to start producing. I'm gonna give me some equipment, I want to learn how to produce and I want to learn how to use AI to produce music. Cool. I'm gonna put you over here and guide you. If you
Hmm.
one of my friends are just like, hey man, I went on such and such and I prompted them there and they shot me out a cool song, like you know what I mean? Then okay, I'll keep you on this side. Both
Hmm.
you guys have fun. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. So then, for let's go ahead and talk about the serious musicians and the serious artists. Where would you go to first as a tool? What's your most trusted tool for serious artists for AI?
I mean tools for software platforms to use.
Yes.
I would say Suno and 11 Labs.
And why do you like them?
They've kind of been in the forefront, Suno big time, and Suno has gotten better and better at these versions that come out, allowing you to do everything as a DAW and create inside now, and some of these other ones don't have that. So Suno is really good for that as well. Stems, it kind of you can use it as a work spot to do everything you got to do within their realm if you really wanted to, So yeah, those two though.
Nice, nice. And let's see here. So, what about with songwriting? Like, do you like to prompt all of the lyrics, or is it a collaborative process when you talk about original songs? Like, how much of the lyrical songwriting process do you involve AI in?
Uh, little bit, little. I like to have them written. Arranging is something different. It can give you different arrangements of what you wrote, and I think that's really cool. Gives you different ideas, but at the end of the day, it's your lyrics.
Hmm.
And when you're looking to actual, make money off of this, and you really want to take it serious and be a musician, then all that stuff counts. Uh,
Hmm.
when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? You can make a big record, but if you didn't write the lyrics, then they're not going to give you that part of the publishing and all that. So it's best just to know, how everything works and know what you can and can't do, um, money wise, how it affects you as well.
Have you had any of the colleagues close to you? Has everybody been receptive to AI, or do some of your close friends still not like it?
No, I have a couple friends that that don't like it. I'm gonna put them on blast, but yeah, I got a couple. Let's just say close buddies, and that you guys have seen me with. He'll frown all day. Oh man, AI, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think they might come around though once they see people using it in the right ways. You know what I mean? I just don't. I think they're missing a little information. So as soon as they get it, I think they'll come back around.
Yes, yes. So it's not 100% uh 100% embraced yet.
Yeah, I would say about 80 to 90 though.
That's pretty good compared for the fact that
Most
it's
people, like for real, most people are um, they're they love what it does. People have fun. Let's just say most people once they actually take that step and dive in one of these platforms, even if they're just simple prompting, they're having fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
taking time. It's, you know what I mean, time retention for them, and they're being creative in their own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's a good thing too, because sometimes as someone who's worked and tried to make music myself before many times over the years, sometimes you hit that point on a track and you're just like, oh my God, do I make garbage?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I,
yeah,
that's me. That's my perspective, so something
yeah.
that you can, get like an alternate take or something to put a piece of music in there. I'll tell you from experience on my side, it's helped, a lot, for trying to just feel like, oh, that I found something for that. Personally, I just tried out that, and this is I paid for it full price. This is not a plug, but they are cool people. But I bought that Wingman plugin from Captain Plugins,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty neat because it'll analyze the track that you're working on, and it's a plugin inside there. So I have my like, idea, and there's certain things that I feel do well. Maybe I really like my drum programming or something, or I made like a cool melody or something. Uh, and then I'm like, I'm lost for what I want to do with the bass line, or I really want to have some chords underneath this, and I try and I'm not really hitting it right. So this thing will analyze the what I've made inside the DAW and then give me the chord progression that goes along to that melody and even drums and stuff. Now it's been really fun. So as somebody who's aided by AI sometimes now, I'm starting to embrace it myself too. And you called it out perfectly. It lets me have fun because sometimes I would hit that point and just shut off Ableton because I'm like, God, I make shit.
Yep, yep, yep.
So,
Oh yeah, I like it. I mean, it's just like you sitting there on a track and you put a plug in on one of your tracks on an instrument or a sample, and you're sitting there letting the track play, and you're sitting there turning the knobs and making it sound all different, and you're sitting there turning and turning and turning, and all of a sudden, boom! Oh, that's it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Those every single time you turn the knob, that's a prompt. Think
Mm,
like that.
hmm.
This is a prompt. Same thing.
Nice, nice. Hey, Doc said Splice is good for that too. I do like the Splice integration with Ableton. That's been really fun.
Yes,
Uh,
around for a long time too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Splice integration with Ableton is pretty fire. And you're right, it will kind of analyze the key of the song that you're working on and then give you like suggested, elements that they have to use along with it, which is cool too. The
Well,
difference between that and Wingman is Wingman kind of gives you the chords and you can go in and actually change the sound and change the chords too individually as well. So that's pretty tight. But
automatic
yeah.
while you're listening to it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's temporarily kind of like records your master track,
Oh,
splits the stems in one window, right? So you get the stems, and then uh, which is nice because if you just wanted to stem out something that you're working on, like if you sent me a beat or something, I could stem that. But then it gives you extra stuff, so it'll give you the chord progression that'll go along with it, and it'll give you, the bass line and the drums, and you can fine tune stuff, and then drag and drop back into your DAW the MIDI or the waves of it. So pretty
oh,
neat.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of upgrading my studio as we speak. And
Yes.
got two pieces of equipment, really three left to get, and yeah, I'll be turning myself loose again.
I can't wait to see some of the new tips and stuff that you're going to show people because we were talking before we went on today about you know you telling people some great advice on how to do certain things. You take and you've created a lot of cool processes, and we're gonna start opening that up to people too.
Yep, definitely, definitely. I'm still learning myself, man. So always trying to learn how to get that good sounding mix. You know what I mean? What using as less and least plugins and all that as possible. you know. So,
Yeah. What is one of the things that came out someone else did with AI that you were very impressed by?
I mean, on a like a commercial level.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like so yeah, what has anyone else put anything out that you like?
I don't really. That's a good question. I don't really know of any songs that I can say right now that I know are AI that's out. That's like making a big. I might be missing something, but but I don't. I don't recall an artist yet that's really broken that barrier that people are accepting. You know what I mean? At least
mhm,
in the hip hop world and R&B world at that. I really haven't. I hear about this artist Timberland is working with, but I don't see that artist out on a commercial
mhm,
yet. So that's one thing I'm waiting to see, and I know that this music is it's in the chambers. You know what I mean?
uh-huh,
As far as the industry, I know that there have been a lot of AI music created. And I don't know if it's because the legality still they're trying to figure that out, so they're kind of
mhm,
holding on to this stuff. But I think as soon as they figure out whatever it's going to be, the floodgates are going to open up, and I think you're going to see big artists work with AI as well as the big producers who it's going to be. I think it's just going to become part. How much they use it is something different, but I think more people and producers are going to use it to some extent as a tool. I
inevitability.
I know a big thing for producers is, and this is what the first thing I saw real producers using AI for, and it really made sense. Um, if you're a producer and you're sitting in your studio and you're sitting there and you're cooking up beats, and all of a sudden you make this one beat and you're like, oh man, I hear such and such on this beat all day, right?
Mhm,
Okay, use AI to clone their voice, use AI to, what do they call it, a top liner, where you get their voice and get somebody to write, get you a writer, or if you're the writer, whatever, you use their voice and let AI do the song that you just created, and you send it to the artist. That I think is a great idea because as a producer, sometimes you send music to an artist and it could be a really dope beat, but that artist might not hear it. You know what I mean?
mhm, mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not like all producers and artists are on that same level all the time, right?
Mhm,
Stories have you heard when the artist is like, man, the producer tried to get me a song and I hated it and it
mhm.
blew up, right? so I think it's kind of like the same, kind of same thing, you know.
Now explain what top lines and how that would work in the past without AI cloning and what it can be now. Because I understood what you were saying. However, people watching that, especially in the algorithm, may not know top line currently versus potentially.
Yeah, so in the past, you had the writer, like a producer. I'll have a certain writer, or I'll call certain writers that do write certain type of way. Like if I do a certain beat, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna call this certain writer because this is something I know he can write to. They come in and write, and they record that song, and then you send it to an artist. Well, that artist doesn't sound like them, so sometimes it's not believable. You know what I mean? To the artist,
Right.
don't hear it. But if you send them something and it's actually their voice, you know what I mean? they they'll get it. At least they'll know what it sounds like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're in the real way. So I think that's helped a lot of producers to be able to do that.
So basically, it's like if I was to try on this shirt and send you a picture of it, that's me in that shirt. You don't, you can't quite.
Right. Right.
envision that you should
Exactly.
be in this shirt,
Exactly. But if you
and
send a picture of that shirt and you use a picture of me and you superimpose it or use Photoshop, whatever, and you send it to me, I'll really be able to tell then. Oh, Raji, I either like it or I don't. You know,
hmm hmm
there's not no let me there's none of that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, nice. So that's vocally what the top liner guy would do in the process.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, nice. And the the one thing I saw in the mainstream that came out was it's in the country realm, but Randy Travis. Do you remember that? Have you ever heard of that name? He's a
Yeah.
big older country singer now, right? Well,
Yep.
apparently he had a stroke and this is a while back now. So he doesn't really sing anymore like that, and it's different, his voice is different. It's impacted, right? So
Right.
apparently he released a song a couple of years ago that used an AI model trained on his past vocals, so he's alive to give it his blessing or whatever. But that was kind of an example of working hand in hand with the living artist to kind of like be involved and like find his voice again. That's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah, I think that's cool, dude. That's when I say it's used for the good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another thing, and this is really kind of controversial because it's still a lot of it can go both ways. You know, when people talk about, okay, well now we can get songs from artists that have passed away. How about
Mm,
that? Being able to bring back, these artists to create new albums, to create different collabs.
mm-hmm.
Some artists weren't around, and dang, if they just were around, they would have had an opportunity to work with this artist and that. But now they can, in a way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
once again, I think that if that's done the right way with the actual people being
Mm-hmm.
involved, you know what I mean? I think that's cool, man, and it lets them live on, uh,
Mm-hmm.
being able to put creative work out as well into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think their names are going to be able to live longer now. Because after certain, as years, when you think about years and years and years, to at a certain point, the new ones aren't going to adapt if all they hear is words from somebody talk about somebody. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
you have new music being able to develop, the Notorious B.I.G. could do a song with the artist that's not even here yet, that might be here 20 years from now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you'll be able to say, just like the artist today could be like, man, I wish I could have did a song with an artist that passed away a long time ago, right?
Right.
But you can actually make that happen, and that's just another creative thing in the world. But once again, done the right way with the artist, um, I think would be cool.
How did you feel when Tupac's hologram performed?
I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool technology to be able to pull that off. That's kind of like the same thing I was just, talking. We were just discussing like
Yeah.
that. I like that. Lets him live on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's tech. It's the future. It's,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Innovative, and
Yeah.
being able to see in the hologram, and it's just going to get better. As technology.
Yeah.
Get,
Well, now, I mean, now you could really literally like we talk about the AI and stuff. It can't do this or that, but it could perform as the hologram. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Now you're just making a new stuff up right off the bat, and you could go to
because
the club and see him play.
because just like you can talk to Chat GTP and all that.
Uh-huh.
What if you were able to do that, but the Chat GTP was the hologram?
Yeah.
Like you said, then you can actually have conversations. And
Oh, yeah. And then
that
that's
person,
going deeper because now we got people that you could,
yeah,
like you
tell
could.
ChatGPT to take on the persona of such and such. You
Mhm.
know, so when you talk
Yeah.
to it, it's going to give you answers as if they would think and answer. So yeah,
How
a lot of things could be done.
now is this? How would you feel about like? immortalizing it because a lot long ago, before this AI stuff and stuff was there, people would cryogenic, like some people were for cryogenically freezing themselves because they might come back later on, right? If the technology,
Yeah,
to make humanity live longer, has advanced. So thaw me out in 100 years, kind of deal. But now with AI, I mean, you could almost put all of your thoughts into an AI, and then, should anything be whatever, your family could still chat with you, or someone could still make music with you if you gave it all of your thoughts and kind of, I guess, reasonings. But
yeah,
how do you feel about it? Would you do that?
yeah. I think that's cool. I know some people doing that right now. I know people that were doing that a couple years ago already. They've
Yeah.
been training the model already for 2 or 3 years.
Wow, nice. So that thing will
They
answer as them, huh?
want to leave that for their family later.
Wow, that's cool. That's super cool. I like it personally,
Yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of trippy. But I go back and I listen to people that uh just like on family members, like voicemails, stuff like that. You know what I mean, or whatever. Just it'd be kind of trippy to talk to them. And then now you got the facial overlay and stuff to turn it into life. I saw people bringing historical figures back and stuff. It's
yeah.
wild. We're getting to the future like real crazy here. Um, so with back to the music part of AI, um, yeah, you got any idea on how to fix the royalty problem? Because I know that a lot of these platforms pay out proportionally to how much content is on the platform. And where a lot of that problem comes is it was before AI, it was, well, there's a lot of independent music and then it doesn't get any plays. It's like one or two or three plays. And then that counts as a song. So if you were to make, let's just say, you get paid proportionally and you're number one out of 10 people will simplify it, right? 1 out of 10. So stream world will make a fake name, pays you proportionally for being artist. Your songs get played and there's 10 people in the lot of music to get played, right? It's proportional, right? Well, then you add 20 more people, but nobody's listening to them, so your amount of money goes down because there's 20 people now on the platform. And so AI, I believe, is causing a problem because there's millions of content put on there now, and then that's shrinking the amount of money that people are getting paid. I think that's one of the big problems. But what do you see uh, to solve royalties? Like, I think the old way has to die. Do you have any ideas?
Well, if they're gonna do it, first of all, they don't need to be saying, "Oh, if you don't have your song doesn't have over 1,000 streams or something like that, then it's not going to count." That's just money on the table that they get. So
Hmm.
first of all, they got to fix that. And I think it's coming up with a rate of per per stream. They need to come up with a rate, flat rate. It don't matter. If you're a song, you got a song on a platform, and somebody listens to it, it's worth whatever amount that is, no matter how many people are on the platform. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
Uh, uh, just like it doesn't matter how many CDs a person has in stores around the world. If one sells, you get that money. They don't say, "Oh, okay, your CD is about to sell. Hold on, let's see how many are left in the world now." Oh, okay, the price just went up, but the price just went. That it don't matter.
Yeah.
So they need to work that out. Number two is the they should have a network, and I've said this before. They should have a streaming network, a major network. Let's just say the biggest streaming network in the world should be a nonprofit.
Ooh.
It should be a nonprofit. So there's nobody on there getting paid millions of dollars crazy, ridiculously. That should not happen like what's happening right now. You can look up Spotify's, the person who runs that, see how many billions of dollars they're getting a year when artists can't even afford health care and they're getting a .003 of a stream per cent, a cent. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That stuff can't be going on. So what if this was governed by a nonprofit organization that everybody worked at this nonprofit got a certain scale of pay?
Hmm.
Period. Also in that, there's a certain percent that this whole thing makes of money from the streams goes to artists' health care. They just need to figure out how they would distinguish what levels of healthcare, and that will depend on how much music you have on the platform. Of course, if somebody's been on there for 20 years and got all this catalog of stuff, and then some new artist comes out with one album, it's got to, there's a difference. That just needs to be worked out. But that money should be in there for that, right?
Yeah.
All that extra money that the people that run these platforms, billions and billions, are making, that all that needs to come back and help people with healthcare and all that. Until that's done, I don't think it's ever going to be fixed because of greed. And that's what this world is built on, greed. And as long as it's able to be owned by, and ran by whoever, it's going to continue to run like that. Just the same as who has the real money in the world. It's families. Which families are running the world right now? You know what I mean? So do
Hmm. Hmm.
again? No, we don't want that.
Hmm. Yeah. And you bring up a really, really interesting point though, because I think that sounds amazing, but we're sitting here as United States artists talking about that. The other people are just going to be like, you guys need what? Healthcare, because their governments take care of them.
Here, Canada got free health care, and we got people all over the place that are dying daily just because they didn't have that extra medicine or whatever procedure.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. One thing I learned about traveling the world is respecting where I live, but I also see the good and the bad. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Certain countries you go to and you're like, man, I wish I lived here. You know what I mean? Certain countries you go to, like, ooh, glad I live in the U.S. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a balance, but I see certain things that are wrong here. That tells me that they don't have to be wrong.
Hmm.
Other
Mm.
countries doing it, they figured it out. Why can't we? We're supposed to be the best country in the world and all that and be able to do anything. Okay, well, fix healthcare.
Yeah.
Homeless. Let's start there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Jam for president.
You know?
Hey, on on that note, I do want to point out that if anyone has any last minute questions, please throw them in the chat. Any last minute things to say because we've already hit the 8 o'clock hour. Can you believe it's been that
All
long already?
Doc Holliday said, "What about a pension plan for artists?" Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Healthcare, pension plans, all that. You know, if there's billions of dollars being made off these platforms, that tells you right there that that money can go to better places.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, President Jam. I put me on your cabinet, dog.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's been great. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. This is episode 5. Remember to check out the link in Jam's Instagram page if you found us on here. If you're listening on another place, you can always find out everything at your main website. Go ahead and I'll let you throw to everything that you got going on, Mr. Jam.
Yep, yep. Once again, my Patreon page, all my content, patreon.com/DJJamDPG. You can check out my website, djjam.com. I'm posting stuff there, and you can click on my bio, the about, to learn more about me. There's a lot of stuff on there that you probably don't know about me. So djjam.com, click on about, learn a little bit more about me and my family. You'll get to know about that later too as well. We'll talk about that. But yeah, man. And this Friday, Sin City Atlantic Nights will be released. So stay tuned for that.
Nice. Well, we'll be looking forward to it. See the next integration of AI as the video mixes evolve. Thank
Yes.
you, Jam. Appreciate you. And thanks to everybody for watching. We'll see you next week, Monday, 7 p.m.
All right, y'all. Peace out.